Good morning all. As some of you are aware, I am back studying again, the third master's course, and because I like learning, that saying, if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. That's kind of where I'm at, basically. So for me, my work is all around me all the time, but I love it. So anyway, third masters, healthy aging and rehabilitation. Why? Because everybody is aging. Let's put it that way for a start. And so having a better understanding, a better comprehension of what is happening during aging is only going to be beneficial for me in my coaching business and also the light therapy business, because as I posted an article, it wasn't written by me, it was written by someone else, a few weeks back about, is red light therapy effectively anti-aging? And the article went into detail about how it effectively changes the way in which you age. Now, because we can't stop aging at the moment, but we can change the way which you age. And one of the great things about this course is I get to understand different perspectives, from a psychological perspective, from a social perspective, from an economical and policy perspective. I get to start to understand those things and how each one kind of interconnects with the other, as well as the physiological aspect of aging, obviously. And so it's my first assignment has to be in soon, and so I've been deep diving on the research with regards to aging, so people over kind of 50, 55, and what happens to them at a physiological level. And one thing that's really, really clear in the research is that light, sleep, circadian rhythm has a humongous impact on both psychological aging, physical aging, and even social aging. And this is all measured through something called quality of life measurements from the World Health Organization. And the data is there to show it. The data is pretty unequivocal. But yet, we see initiatives to get people active. But let's get people active, and what we understand actually now, as the research continues to come out, is that strength training, resistance training is absolutely crucial to improve and prolong quality of life factors. Because strength training or resistance training is the part of the training that allows someone to maintain their independence. And whilst you maintain independence, you maintain a certain quality of life. And although some of the activity pointers, any activity is better than no activity, let's put it that way, for various disease risk factors. But now what we've got to push is, we've got to really push resistance training. And the research is always there. It's also there for nutrition and malnutrition in elderly homes and in the elderly in general. Is, even though we know the most about it that we've ever known about nutrition, we have availability to nutrient-rich foods and supplements is the best it's ever been. We still find that malnutrition is rife in elderly people, and so there has to be some kind of education in that sense. But one thing's also sure is that we can't force people to do it, much like the opposite, much like if you try and get young people to eat healthy and move more, etc., etc. You can't force people to do it. But one thing that there is an abundance of evidence, well, not an abundance, but evidence on, is sleep and its effect both physiologically, socially and psychologically. And I am yet to find good initiatives in that aspect. So if you have parents or grandparents, ask them, do they have trouble sleeping? Do they have you've seen older people, they fall asleep in the middle of the day, and part of that is down to the signals that they require in order to have a signal to wake up, and the signals that to get good quality sleep get a lot harder as we get older. And so it's even more important to have the right light environment in our environment as we get older. And yet no one is talking about that. And it's sad. It's great that we've got some initiatives to get people active. Now let's get people as strong as possible. It's good that we're talking about nutrition, but let's actually do something about the nutrition. And at the same time, let's start to implement specific lighting that will help people get to sleep, get a good night's sleep. And we already know that connections between poor circadian rhythms and diabetes and other metabolic diseases, psychological diseases, or psychological problems, depression, anxiety are affected by sleep, Alzheimer's and dementia are affected by sleep. So it's about time that we actually say, okay, instead of looking at this as a sick care, we'll try and do the most that we can with the symptoms when they occur. And then actually, what about if we said, okay, let's try and reduce the symptoms as much as possible, and let's try and focus on the cause and see if we can do something about that. And that's what I'm learning, and it's great. I love it because it's teaching me things. It was teaching me to look at things in a different way to how I do normally. So right now I'm thinking, okay, is it financially viable to do something about lighting? And what are the costs? What's the cost benefit type thing in terms of preventative care over sick care, reactive care versus preventative care? Because unfortunately that's how it is looked upon. But once we understand that, and once I can actually have a good close look at the figures and stuff like that, then actually it could be, hopefully, that I understand a way of getting preventative care measures in place in some places, and preventative care measures in place for aging in general, so people have a better understanding of why light is so important, even from an early age, why light is so important and getting the right light at the right time, why resistance training is so important and getting resistance training throughout your life, and why nutrition and how that's going to help you mentally, psychologically, socially. But I love it. I love being back in university and learning again. As they say, find what you're passionate about and you will never work a day in your life. And I have truly found that. Happy days. Have a great day. Get enough light. It's a weird light at the moment. And be as healthy as you can. But enjoy.